Now, I've been seeing a lot of videos on YouTube lately about paintball versus airsoft, and all I've been hearing is a lot of paintball sucks and airsoft sucks, and they both sucks. Who cares? But I just wanted to clear up some of those misconceptions about paintball and airsoft. Now, I play both. In my opinion, they're both good sports and they're both fun and everything, but they both have their pros and cons. And it all comes down to what it all comes down to is you, the viewer, and what you prefer. Airsoft is a more tactical sport. It's a team working sport. Paintball is a more Rambo, go blazing in with your paintball gun and shooting anyone you can. Paint the walls if you want to. It's that kind of sport. And the thing is, they both have pros and cons, like I said. And I'm going to start off with airsoft first. Some of the pros of airsoft is that it's inexpensive. That's the main pro for airsoft. You buy your gun. Yes, guns can be a little more expensive and a little more pricey at times, but in the long run, it's more of an investment. The only thing you're going to have to keep on buying is BBs. You're going to run out of BBs, of course, just like paintballs. Now, BBs aren't as expensive as paintballs, obviously. Another pro to airsoft is it's a lot more realistic, and I mean a lot more realistic. A lot of these guns look exactly alike, and this is going to be one of the cons, is that they look so exact like the real guns that it's illegal to play airsoft in public, as is paintball, because you're going to get people hurt. But people don't go all, he's got a real gun, he's going to shoot us or something like that with a paintball gun, because they see the huge ass CO2 tank in the back. Now, another pro for airsoft is that there's a variety of power sources. You got your batteries, your CO2, green gas, red gas, pressure, nitrogen. It goes all over the place. And that's one of the main things I don't like about paintball, is that the fact that you only got CO2 and some other things, a few others, but mainly CO2. Almost everyone has CO2, and CO2 is expensive. I don't know about you, but I don't see any CO2 tanks around for me to fill up. So another con for airsoft is that accuracy isn't always the best. You're using a small weight BB, and it gets drifted from the wind. Wind's going to push it away, and it's not going to hit its target. Now, velocity on the other hand, I think airsoft velocity versus paintball velocity is a lot more greater. You have expensive airsoft guns in $1,000 ranges who are hitting 800 FPS versus paintball guns are only 300 FPS. Manufacturers aren't going to make paintball guns more than they have to, because fields restrict their limit to only 300 FPS, so factories aren't going to make more than that. See, airsoft, some fields allow you to go wherever. Some indoor fields only 300 FPS, and that's understandable. You're indoors. But outdoors, who cares? You're far away from each other. So airsoft guns have a lot more velocity, which means they're going to hurt a whole lot more. And I mean a whole lot more. And I've heard this a lot, that paintballs hurt more than airsoft, and I have to disagree with that. Because paintballs, even though they're larger, of course, they're going to have a lot more kinetic energy. But think about it, a 300 FPS paintball that shatters on contact versus a 25 gram BB going 400, even 500 FPS, who doesn't shatter on contact and penetrates. The only problem with airsoft is that you get that penetration. It goes through skin, it goes through clothes, it breaks teeth, there's head injuries, it hurts. I mean, it is just painful. And I think airsoft is a lot more painful than paintball. And so, another con, like I mentioned before, is that airsoft can be illegal in places. You're running around with a pretty realistic looking gun, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. So that's another con. And now for paintball. Paintball, some of the pros can be, again, accuracy. Paintballs, I think, are a bit more accurate than airsoft's. Only reason because of the CO2 pressure and the high pressure buildup in the barrels, and the barrels also are curved. If you've noticed, if you've actually looked down your barrels, I don't know if some of yours have them, but they're actually curved. They actually have rifling like real rifles, and so they have that spin, and they're more accurate. But for distance, I would have to say that's a con for for paintballs. You know, paintballs, again, 300 FPS, you have that heavy round, it's gonna drag. It's like saying an AK round, which is a 7.62, versus an M4 round, which is a 5.56. You know, AK round, it's gonna hurt a lot more kinetic energy, but it's gonna drag and it's gonna go down in a loop. While M4 round, it's gonna go straight, even though it's weaker, but it's gonna go straight. So, con for paintball, and I mean the biggest drawback for paintball, is the fact that it's so expensive. And I mean, it is expensive. I know some of you can afford it, but I can't. I really can't. A few times I've gone paintballing, I've had to fork out $50, and a couple of times $70. You know, I have to buy CO2, paintballs, and then plus pay for the field. That builds up, and plus, like an idiot, I went and bought my own paintballs, and the place I went to wouldn't even let me use them. I had to buy theirs, which kind of sucked. But hey, you know, I should have read the fine print. You know, that's my bad. But still, paintball is expensive. That's the main drawback for paintball. So they're both pretty equal, you know. Like I said before, it all depends on you, on your preferences. Whether you're a Rambo person, want to go blazing, you know, go paint some walls, or if you're a tactical person and you want to stick closer to reality and, you know, have that teamwork going. It all depends on you. So yeah, now I'm gonna show you a couple of my rifles. You know, I have some airsoft and some paintball. Here's the first one. This is my XM8. This is my main airsoft. This is my favorite, my absolute favorite. Now this thing goes maximum 380 FPS. Places only let me go 330 where I go, but I like to, with the hop up, adjust the speed and go a little higher without them noticing. It's got a 300 round magazine. Now that's a lot. Paintball, I know you have around 200 round hoppers and they get a little bigger, but hey, this is a small magazine. And the maximum range on this baby is around 120 feet, which is pretty good actually for the type of brand it is. This is an SRC, by the way, I forgot to mention that. It's a really good quality. It's black. I like the black finish. It's really nice. Okay, now that's that. This is my M4. This isn't as nice as my XM8. Only reason being is that the accuracy is off. My XM8 has a scope. Unlike this, it has peep scopes, not very accurate. It has the charging handle in an awkward place. It's right here. It's very awkward. It has only a 200 round magazine, not as much as my M8 also, like I said before. I let my friend use this one just because I don't like it as much, but don't tell him that because it's kind of crappy too. I only paid $100 for this while I paid close to 130 with the other one, so it's a price difference. But either way, this one actually shoots faster. It actually shoots about 400 FPS, averaging out with 20 gram BBs. Same with the other 20 gram BBs, which is faster, but again, I like accuracy. I'm a patient man. Now here's my paintball. This is my Spider Compact Deluxe. This is my first paintball gun. I love this one, I really do. It's really nice. I've never ever had to buy another one because it was so good. It's lasted me a long time. It's lasted me almost 5 years, which is really good. Now CO2 tank goes right here on the bottom and goes straight down. I have an adjustment for it that loops around to here, but I don't have it on right now. And I have a custom built buttstock. Now I know this is gonna sound corny, guys, but please try not to laugh. This buttstock is made out of popsicle sticks. I know that sounds really funny, and I know it sounds cheap. I am cheap. I'm poor. What can I say? I decided, you know, just what the heck, make myself a buttstock, and it works pretty good. You know, has a nice feel to it. I've never ever broken it. I've never had to replace it, which is a really good thing. So that's my paintball gun. Now I'm going to show you a couple of my helmets. This is my main paintball helmet. You see, I always wear it when I go paintballing, and honestly, I don't like it one bit. I mean, I really don't. You know, it gets hot under there. I start sweating like a pig, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't go paintballing. It's because it gets so hot under these masks. But hey, I could always go buy another mask. But again, I don't want to pay $50 or $70 to go paintballing. So there we go. And here is my main airsoft helmet. Now this is my joy and glory right here. I made this one personally for myself. I started off scratch with just a basic bicycle helmet. Cut it off, started adding things. The front is made out of steel, which gives me a lot of protection from airsoft, especially those high-powered rounds. Oh my god. It used to be aluminum. It went straight through. I mean, straight through. The back is still made out of aluminum. See? Still aluminum. But it stops rounds. It's kind of thick. I had one round go through once. The guy went up to 1,000 FPS. The guy was a jerk. He went against rules. He got kicked out. Never came back again, but still, it hurt like a wench. And I mean, it hurt a lot. So, here we go. It's very comfortable. As you can tell, it's very nice and roomy. It's very airy. Not like the paintball helmet, but again, I made this for myself. So, hope this video helps clear up some of the confusion out there. And like I said again, it's both the same. Paintball, airsoft, doesn't matter. It all depends on you and your preferences. So, I hope this video helped.